peaceful life is possible. A peaceful society, a peaceful family, a peaceful nation, a peaceful world, they're all possible. So that's why I would like to call on everyone to please let us all live for the sake of others. Let us build a world of peace. Let us become peace designers, peacemakers, and ambassadors for peace. So in conclusion, in closing, peace in a stress-free environment, the solution is living for the sake of others. Thank you to all our organizers, staff, partners, sponsors, friends, and all the participants. Advance happy 75th anniversary of the United Nations. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor. Thank you very much, Professor Richel Halipa, for that reaction. For the next person to give his reaction in today's webinar series, may I call on Dr. Venus Agustin to do his introduction.
Good morning again. So I would like to introduce our second reactor. He's a multifaceted man. He's a dynamic leader, a well-rounded educator and a devout family man, and he's an epitome of a modern-day educator and manager, progressive-minded, dynamic mover, and highly adaptive to the changing needs of the fast-moving generations of our time. My dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, he is now the chairman of the board of Diliman College and Diliman Educational Corporations, Commonwealth, a professor at the University of Makati, and the president and executive director of the Commission on Accreditation for Local Colleges and Universities, ALCOCOA, and executive director of ALCO and ALCO Athletic Associations. And lately, he was elected chairman of the National Network for Quality Assurance Agency. Other milestones of his able leadership was that he was elected Vice President of Professors World Peace Academy, Philippines, and the latest one, appointed Chancellor of Lyceum of Philippine University, Laguna. Let's help me welcome Dr. Raimundo P. Arsiga.
Thank you so much, Dr. Agustin. At this point, I would like to acknowledge the presence of Secretary Erlinda Pepianco. We're so blessed, our former Deputy Secretary and now the President of Antipolo Institute of Technology. It's also my pleasure to see in the virtual conference some local colleges and university officials. I saw Dr. Estrella Cinco of San Mateo Municipal College. And of course, I'm happy to see once again a good friend, a mentor, Dr. Robert Kittel. And also, I'm happy listening to Superintendent Elazar of DepEd Palawan. From your talks, I realized that stress is something that you cannot get away from. COVID-19 came unexpected. And we're used to have a lot of stress around. And if there's something I learned from Dr. Eliasar's presentation is that you cannot stop stress coming. The most that you can do is on how to manage stresses. And taking it from the talk of Dr. Kittel, he presented a very important challenge and realization. You want students and everyone to manage stress, then you have to provide everyone a peaceful environment. And this calming is something that you cannot memorize. Peace is something that may come and may be provided by different institutions. In the presentation of Dr. Kittel, we have to realize that in our attempt to arrest the challenges of COVID-19 and its impact to the students that we have right now, we have to revisit the role played by the family, by the church, by the community, and by the school. And my beloved university officials, we're not accidental to where we want to bring this nation. We are actually the beginning and the end. Remember, in the presentation of Dr. Elazar and Dr. Kittel, they kept on telling us that in addressing stress, People need support, and support may come from the family, from the church, from the community, and from the school. Allow me to tell you that there are 3 incidents already of students who committed suicide, and it was openly shared to everyone due to the stresses they got from the virtual classes. Uh, because some of us in the academy, instead of shortening lessons, instead of shortening the content, right, we just virtualize, right, the content instead of reduction. There are some teachers maybe, okay, who instead of reducing the academic requirements, no, have prolonged to make sure that they're getting compliance from the students. I'm not sure about the story, but reality so dictates that people under stress may end up losing their lives and would opt to just commit suicide. Now, of course, it's not clear now what are the reasons and why students are practically committing suicide. But as educational institutions, I don't think we can excuse. Again, as mentioned by Dr. Kittel, and I'm happy to hear it once again, the concept of universal peace. And that peace is something that we have to embrace as an educational institution. We've been talking about outcomes-based education in higher education. We were made to believe that you have the SILO, the PILO, and the ILO, the institutional learning outcome, the program intended learning outcome, the course intended learning outcome under OBE. But the question at the end of the day, have we included peace as one of the outcome? Kids who haven't experienced peace at home will just depend on school or in the church. Not all are blessed to have an intact family, and some are just dependent to their teachers, to the academic community, to the guidance counselors. And allow me to state some statements. No, I've heard in my 28 years in the academy, good teaching is good teaching. COVID-19 is not a problem. Yung mga teachers na nagtuturo talaga bago mag-pandemic at magaling na teacher, COVID-19 is nothing for them. Because once you're a good teacher whether you are in a face-to-face or in the virtual class. You have to be very dynamic, very animated in front of your students. Please take note that we're not just teaching the students, we're teaching the entire family. Today, when we teach in front of the students, it's not just our students listening to us, but the entire family. Maybe without us knowing, when we influence the lives of our students through teaching, we're influencing the entire family. That's one realization that I got to know from where we are in today. Number 2, we can build or destroy the image of our institution. Whatever we present in front of the box, right, in the virtual, can inspire people to come to us and enroll, and vice versa. Unlike then, we're just confined in the 4 corners of the wall. I'm sorry, but I heard it many times from committed educators. Education is not for grade, but for life. Again, I repeat, education is not for grade, but for life. Gone are the days that we have to stress our students about the grades. Even in examination, if you give it virtual, how would you know if they're the one taking the exam? Grades become irrelevant. How would you know if the one reciting was practically alone answering the questions? Not all who got 95 are good, and not all those who got 74 have no promise of becoming successful. I've seen a lot of people who got 75, 78, 80, 82 was the highest, but they succeeded beyond expectations. And I've seen people who got 98, 99, even cum laude valedictorian. Unfortunately, they were not able to end up with the outcome they expect for themselves. Today, classroom is borderless. Classroom is timeless. Classroom becomes unlimited. And we should have realized something. Let us not stress anymore our students about the grades. Don't be tired computing the grades, because at the end of the day, the flexible learning gave us a lot of challenges. How would you know that the performance task was prepared by the student themselves? Again, education is not for grade, but for life. If you see your students in the virtual classroom happy, smiling with you, reacting to what you say, and they're doing virtual clap and virtual thumbs up, and are even crying in the virtual classroom, you'll be happy about it. Because the outcome of education is not about the grade that they'll be getting. Grade is an input and a process, but that's not the outcome of education. And from the presentation of Dr. Kittel, let us not forget that we're creating and we're supposed to create students who will advocate peace. It will start from the family. If kids will not, and the students will not learn what peace is all about in their lives, they cannot create peace for others. If they cannot be a peaceful person, I don't think they can establish a peaceful family. And if they cannot create a peaceful family, let us not expect that they are capable of creating a peaceful community and a peaceful world. And that's what I got. Thank you, Dr. Kittel, from your presentation. Today, we're limited by what? No? By the classroom. Again, good teaching is good teaching. Now that we cannot teach 15 chapters of the book, now that we cannot achieve the 20 outcomes per subject, there is one call. We have to make our teaching simple and basic. Try to recall those years of our mom and our grandmothers where we don't have outcomes based yet, when we don't have core competencies yet, we don't have vertical articulation, and they don't have 5 English subjects in college, in high school, and grade school. But imagine how good they are compared to where we are today. The call of the time would be not to prolong the agony of the students. It should be beyond curriculum. And to manage the stress is to make our curriculum relevant, responsive, and inclusive by shortening it, by making it simple, and making it basic. Before I end, allow me to remind the higher education institutions to implement flexible learning. Let us not push Zoom, Google Meet, GoToMeeting, right? Microsoft Teams if it's not possible. Flexible learning is reminding everyone to evaluate connectivity and gadgets. While the rest of 39 can do virtual, there might be 7 not capable. Let's not stress them. Just send them module. We will not be losing anything if we create module specific for the 7 others who cannot be in the virtual learning. Number 2, let's have academic breaks and plug off, right? I guess every other major exam, we have to have plug off and we have to have academic breaks, not just between breaks and trimester. The time to give both the students and the faculty members to breathe and to relax. Number 3, if there are 7 subjects, let us not have 7 projects. I guess we can just have one interdisciplinary project, multidisciplinary project. One project which can be used by the sciences subjects, the social sciences. Because for you to have 7 projects for 7 subjects to be submitted next week is something so stressful. Anyway, one task project from social studies can be used by other subjects. And let us embrace synchronous and asynchronous. When our school officials told us to have it asynchronous, let's do it asynchronous. Let's not make it synchronous from Monday to Friday. That's economically unfair because not all can have data, right? And not all have the strong connectivity. And as mentioned by Dr. Fermin of CHED, the challenge would be for us to limit the content. That's the first thing that we have to do. Let us not push 15 chapters. Number 2, essential outcome. Not all can be delivered via virtual. Number 3, authentic assessment. You may want to remove grades. I'm sorry, CHED is around. But why do you have to stress NSTP students to learn like algebra? And so with PE, the outcome of physical education is not the same with the outcome of algebra and professional subjects. There might not be multiple choices, fill in the blanks and identification. There are some subjects which can be best delivered through practical presentation, virtual humanities. We don't have to ask our students to memorize sculpture and everything, right? It's appreciation of the arts. And maybe via virtual, we can just come up with a virtual concert for them to share what they're capable of doing via different media arts. And the last one, very important before I end, you want the students to be free from stress. We want the students to be free from possible suicide. Then we have to give them quality and unforgettable experience. The challenge of this virtual learning, COVID-19, and to make a stress-free environment would be to allow the students to experience peace inside the classroom, to inspire the students for the value of universal peace from the house to school to the community and to the world. And we can only do that by allowing our students and our children, our youth, to experience authentic, quality, relevant, and inclusive experience. Once again, a pleasant morning to everyone, and God bless all of us.
Thank you very much, Dr. Raymundo Arcega, for those words, for those wonderful insights and remarks on flexible education for both the faculty and for our students as we cope up with this new normal. So both of our reactors gave very significant and valuable insights, and I hope a lot of our participants are taking down some notes, because up next, for the next part of our program, we are going to have the open forum. So this will be facilitated by the President of International Peace Leadership College, Dr. Venus G. Agustin.
All right. Thank you so much, Choli. And also would like to appreciate and give credit to the two reactors, especially to our Dr. Raymond Arcega for such a profound and comprehensive synthesis of the message of the two speakers. So there's a question here. I will read. By the way, for those who are listening, after reading some of the questions that is sent to me, I can call for open questions from among those who are present. So the first question is, if a person having too much happiness on his or her job, then she might become depressed. What if a person getting too much stress to work will be might cause also depression? This is from Mr. John Carlo Vilonsa, San Matthew Municipal College. So anyone from the two speaker? The actor also can add later. Yeah. Dr. Kittel.
Yeah, please repeat one more time. A person
Okay,
has
so
too much happiness?
yeah, if a person having too much happiness on his or her job, then she might become depressed. What if a person getting too much stress to work, will he might cause also depression?
Okay, thank you. There are, first of all, let me appreciate both reactors, Rachel Halipa and Raymond Arcega. And when he talked about the importance of the family, then he included the church. And if a church is functioning correctly, the church is also a family. And if the school is functioning correctly, then your teachers can be parents to your children. They should be sensitive to what they're going through and help them if they're struggling. So, but you talk here about too much happiness. There are different types of happiness. If there is kind of this personal happiness becomes almost a self-serving happiness, then I think there is an instability built within that. But if there is instead kind of the happiness of the institution itself, for example, in a family, if somebody is just happy and takes more than their fair share of food and other family members don't get enough food, then that happiness is not good or healthy. But if in a family there's not enough food, who are the people that sacrifice the most? It's the parents. So they will willingly, even happily, pretend that they're not hungry so that the children can eat. So I think happiness is a good thing, but it really needs to be more in the public concept of happiness. And too much stress, well, too much stress, again, a little bit of stress is good. It kind of puts you on your edge, gives you additional adrenaline or energy that you need at a particular time. But too much stress, then you need to seek counsel. You need to help kind of alleviate that. It is unhealthy, as we have seen from the literature that has been quoted here. So again, a balance in life, and that balance comes really from family or family type of relationships in society. They are the healthiest.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kittel, for that input. Okay, so another questions. This address also to the two speaker. What should be our actions to students suffering from stress because of the following reasons, like broken family, working students, lack of study materials, financial, etc.? This is from Arman Panganiban, ITech. Dr. Alicia, you want to answer? Dr. Alicia?
Dr. Venus, can I answer?
Oh, yes, Dr. Arsiga, please.
Yes. By the way, I'd like to go back to the first question raised earlier, that too much happiness can lead to depression. This is my first time to hear about it, no? That too much happiness can lead to depression. I guess it's the other way around, no? When you're too stressed, no, you left no time. No time was left for you to think over the right disposition for a certain way. But happiness can be true, or can cover what is really deep within a person, no? But whoever asked it, no, I'm happy to hear that too much happiness can lead to depression, no? But let me go back to the second question, no, about broken family, no, issues on broken family, and how we can. Please note that a school, no, the school can only respond, no, to any attempt, okay, to handle family problems, so within its control. That's why we have the guidance office, and we have what you call PTA and PTA, Parent Teacher Association, or Parents Instructors Association in college, trying to strengthen a relationship with the parents, no? But let us be reminded that for the end of the school, no, that's why we're doing so profiling, no. We want to find out who came from broken family, who lives not with their parents, and so with the economic, no, classification of the students, to be able for us to come up with a comprehensive program which will be responsive to the socioeconomic status, no, and psychosocial status of the students, no. That's why there is a need for us to have good guidance counselor, not only good, but outstanding guidance counselor. Why? Imagine if you have about 3,000 students or 1,000 students, this guidance counselor have to cater 1,000 needs. And take note that they're not supposed only to cater needs of those with problems, but even for those people who do not have problems yet. Because guidance program can be both preventive or corrective. And we're trying to avoid corrective program as much as possible. We want to come up with programs that are more preventive, more proactive than reactive. Maybe the second issue about financial and broken family, beyond the school, you need a guidance counselor who will be passionate to go to the community and would definitely find time to talk with the parents. And it will start from not seeing the students inside the classroom. Again, not only the guidance counselor, but the teachers themselves. They have to be sensitive. If they started the semester with 50 students in the virtual class, and they've seen someone not anymore reporting, not anymore appearing, right, in the virtual classroom, either he attends to him personally or he has to refer the students to the guidance counselor. But everything will start from attendance monitoring to be able for us to reconcile these issues relating to broken family and PTA, on money matters and so forth and so on. But I have to be very honest. Sometimes even if you have the best and comprehensive guidance program, and even if the leadership of the school was so kind, sincere in addressing the problem, really, at some point there are kids who would still end up committing suicide or whose mental health are compromised. I'm sorry, but at that point, you cannot do anything anymore. So at least you've done something to prevent as an educational institutions. Again, I would like to remind everyone that's the reason why CHED require 4 licensed guidance counselors. Because you have this group of people trained really to do guidance and counseling scientifically. Counseling is something that require scientific know-how on how to do it. That's all, Dr. Agustin. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Arsiga. Any words from the two speakers? Reactions?
I just want to mention just one simple point.
Dr. Kittel.
Action from stress related to a broken family. The important thing is don't look in the past and pity yourself. Oh, my family is broken, therefore I can't accomplish what I would like to do. No, you can still do that. And more importantly is that you can look to the future to have a good family for your children. And that future goal is very important. And you can adopt, parental figures, counselors, teachers, pastors, or other mentors that you may find to help, be the person that can parent you through these difficulties. But again, don't look in the past, but look into the future of what you want for your family and what you can do. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kittel. There is
Hello?
one. Yes,
Hello,
Dr.
hello.
Eliasar.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Agustin. Regarding the second question about the action of the student who is suffering from broken family, financial problem, and etc. I mentioned already the management technique. Number one there is changing your thinking. So we need to think only on the positive side. So we have the choice. Think only what is positive and disregard the negative. Another one is perhaps you need to change your behavior. What are the unnecessary behavior that I must reject, that I must delete from my behavior? And my behavior must be accepted within the culture where I belong. And another one is change your lifestyle. Perhaps because you are having a financial problem, because might be you do not spend your money the right expenditure. And another one is sometimes we need to have a social contact, leisure time, relaxation. We need to breathe in, breathe out, and concentrate, of course, in God. Have faith in God, because everything is under His control. Thank you so much,
Thank you so much, Dr.
Dr.
Eliasar.
Agustin.
Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Eliasar. There's one thing reactions from iTech, Dr. Erlinda.
Thank you,
Yes, you are recognized, please.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Agustin. First, I would like to congratulate everybody, the speakers and the reactors. But I just want to have some reflection on the things that we will want to bring home from this session. Okay. When we started this semester on a pandemic mode, remote learning, we put up what we call in iTech research and innovation agenda. So every day we were monitoring what was happening in school. We're a small school, so that's easy to do. We also divided our semester into two. So instead of 8 subjects all at the same time, we divided it into 4 per quarter. So they're now having their finals this October. But just last week, the head of our research innovation agenda was telling me, Mom, those who have to work after class are doing better than those who are full-time students. Okay, we have self-directed learning, we have consultation time. So I asked her why. So she said, maybe we should go back and bring back focus on life skills. They do not know how to manage their time. They do not have any study skills, and that could make a difference. I guess that is what stress management will also be all about. So I just wanted to ask maybe Dr. Kittel or Dr. Eliasar. We're going back into talking about life skills, particularly know how to manage.
Okay, so there's another questions that I thrown to the two speakers. Please allow me to read. From Randolph Angeles, Colegio de Montalban. Maybe the CHED can react later.
Uh, Dr. Agustin, in the absence of the commission, uh, may I say something? In my capacity as
Dr.
head
Siga, you're
of
recognized. Yeah, please.
quality assurance, um, not pass or failed, but I guess CHED gave us enough space, no, to think about our grading system. There are some schools not using anymore numerical. Like if you go, uh, or sometimes the highest is not anymore 1 but 4. In particular, De La Salle, no, the highest grade for them is 4. The lowest is 1. Now, if you go naman to FEU, for instance, their grade is not anymore 1, 2, 3, 4. Their grade is A plus, B plus, C plus, D plus. So in the present setup, I don't know, but particularly for autonomous university and even not autonomous, no, flexible learning is inviting everyone to come up with authentic assessment. And while we cannot define exactly what's best for our students, COVID-19 should have given us enough confidence to reinvent, uh, and prove to the whole world. Now, what was mentioned by Secretary Pefianco is not one among those dictated upon by CHED, but upon the initiative of her leadership, no? That anything